Okay, so this is part 2 of the previous video, and let us discuss the remaining portion of this handout with all of you. So now, what type of exam questions are generally asked? Number 1, for a merged entity, calculate revised earnings, market value and number of shares. For example, A and T are two companies and their current earnings are 5 and 6. Therefore, their total earnings pre-merger are 11. But as we saw in our CFO example, we were able to save 2 lakh rupees. Let's say this is 11 lakh. We were able to save 2 lakh rupees every month. So after acquiring certain company, there are changes in costs and revenues. One example of that is the CFO salary reduction, and hence your total earnings are revised, your total earnings are changed due to certain synergy benefits. Synergy is simply 2 plus 2 is equals to 5. Means when you were an individual company, you were gaining less. However, since you combine, you are able to reduce cost and gain better earnings. Number 2 says price that acquirer should pay for target company. If as in A you are acquiring T, how much should you pay for it? Gain loss to shareholders of each of the merged company. After merger, we will look in our basic example. The shareholders may gain or they may lose certain value over their shares. For example, before merger, A's share, a single share of A was valued at 5 per share. However, after merger, the shares are now valued at 6 per share. So we can say that each shareholder of A has gained rupees 1 due to merger. An analysis about the merged entity. We will go on these details in our basic examples. Well, now I have listed down some formulas actually, which you will use in very basic cases. You should note the fact that these are very basic formulas. There may be question specific adjustments, and if there are question specific adjustments, you must account for them. However, if the question is very simple, you will use these formulas. What you will do? Number 1, revised earnings. If you are supposed to calculate the revised earnings of merged entity, you will add 3 things: pre-merger earnings of A, pre-merger earnings of B, the target company, plus synergy effects. Any earnings increase due to synergies. This will give you revised earnings. Revised market value. How will you calculate the revised market value? Market value of A before merger plus market value of B before merger plus present value of all synergy effects is equals to total revised market value. What does this present value of all synergy effects imply? Remember, during share valuation, we said that the value of a share is the discounted value of all future dividends to year 0. During free cash flows to company lecture, we said that market value of a company is the discounted value of all future free cash flows to year 0. Likewise, the market value of an entire company is the market value of A, which is year 0 value, plus market value of B, which is year 0 value, and after acquisition, if you are saving certain amounts, you will discount them and bring to year 0. These are the entire benefits additional which you are getting because of merger, and you will add them to A and B's value. The last one says revised number of shares. Number of shares of A the surviving entity or the acquirer, plus new issue of shares as purchase consideration is equals to revised number of shares. How did this happen? Let's say A had 5 shares before acquisition, and let's say T had 3 shares before acquisition. A offered to acquire T, and the offer said, or the A said to T, hey, I will acquire 3 shares from you, and in return I will issue 2 shares of my own company. This is called share for share exchange transaction. You are saying that your shareholders or you all will be issued 2 shares of my company, means A, and in return you have to withdraw your 3 shares. So the new company, since T shares are cancelled, they are no more in existence, the new company or A company will have 5 shares of its own which were previously there, plus 2 new shares which are issued to acquire 3 shares of T, and the new company will have 7 shares. So this is all about merger and acquisition, and we have discussed it in a great detail. Let us now solve a very simple example. I repeat that this is a very important topic, and you can expect 15 to 20 marks from this topic in every BFD attempt. Therefore, I request all of you that you must read the entire book, do all class questions which I provide you, do read the past papers, and yes, point to note is that, as always, the exam questions, unfortunately, I kept exam question answers are either incorrect or the questions are incorrect. So do not make your concepts from these solutions. And yes, if you can do around 70% of or 75% of a certain question, that's enough and perfectly fine, since the exam questions are incorrect, ambiguous, vague, they are not objective, they are subjective. You have to take many assumptions, and you are not given proper time. The exam time is really short for BFD exam, so doing 70 to 75% is absolutely perfect, very fine. You are not expected to do 100% of all questions, but you must practice all exam questions, and I will solve around 10 to 15 questions at least during the lectures. Let's see example number 1. The example number 1 is that there are certain pre-merger details. Pre-merger means before merger. The details are as follows. There is a company called A and a company called T. Earnings. Before merger, A was earning 5 million per annum, whereas T was earning 3 million per annum. Therefore, before merger, the total earnings of A and T were 8 million. Price to earnings ratio. Price to earnings ratio, as discussed in class, is generally used in exam questions to value the shares, and this is an important information. Total market value, number of shares, and price per share. Price per share, even if it was not given, we can simply divide the market value by number of shares and calculate the 10 rupee value of A, or divide the 30 million market value of T company by number of shares, which is 15, and get the price per share of 2 rupees for company T. Likewise, you can say that the PE ratio is actually the market price per share divided by earnings per share, or market value of the entire company divided by earnings of entire company. Therefore, even if the price earning ratio was not given, we can compute it. For example, for A, the market value of all the shares was 100 divided by the earnings of the entire company, which is 5, gives us the PE ratio of 20. And in any question, if you are not provided this sort of table, you must make it if it is possible, and it will definitely help you to fasten your pace for solving the question. The table must include the earnings or EPS, PE ratio. I'm talking if table is not provided, do make this type of table. Number of shares, price per share or market value of the entire company, and in certain cases you may be provided with growth rates or some other information, but make this type of pre-merger table always. So now the proposed scheme of merger, what is being said is that for merger, number 1, A is to issue 3.5 million shares for 15 million shares of T. What will happen is that A will merge with T, and A has offered 3.5 million of its own shares for 15 million shares of T. Merger is expected to generate synergy effects having number A, earnings impact of 1 million per annum. Each year's earnings will increase by 1 million for the merged company, not for individual companies, and total present value of synergies will be 12 million. Since this is a basic example, the question is very straightforward, but in exam questions you will be required to compute the number of shares which you are issuing to merge with T. In exams you will also be required to calculate the earnings amount, which over here is provided directly, which is 1 million. In exam questions you will also be required to compute the present value of synergies. In this question, since this is a very basic question, all the details are provided as it is, but in exam questions, since the question will be 10 to 15 marks, you will be required to compute all these details. Well, those students who have the basic idea about merger and acquisitions or have read some articles or books can go ahead and solve this question, whereas for rest of the students, I will be solving this question in my next part or part 3 of this video lecture.